Hey y'all, thank you so much for tuning into this video. So each year actually last year was the first time I bought pumpkin apple butter from Sprouts. And so I went a few weeks ago and to go buy more, but they didn't have it. So I was like, well, I'll just go ahead and make my own pumpkin apple butter. So I've always wanted to make it. And so I figured this was the perfect time. I'm at home. I have the time to watch it since I'm here. So check out this video on my apple butter journey. Well, as I make homemade apple butter. I grew up, actually my grandfather's the one who really introduced me to apple butter, and he's from the mountains of Pennsylvania, and he kept apple butter in the house, and I remember going out, he put apple butter on his biscuits, bread, all that stuff. So it's a family thing, I guess, to like apple butter. My friend laughed at me because he was like, who makes apple butter at 36? I make apple butter at 36, and I'm excited. Like, I was really hyped. So I wanted to video and put everything together so you guys can watch me make apple butter. So here you go. So I need to weigh my apples, like with the recipe I have. And so I'm using my mailer scale. And so I put my apples in Ziploc bags and then put them in one of my boxes. And I've weighed my apples and I'm right where I need to be. I've got my apples all sliced up and in the crock pot. So this whole process is about 12 hours. And we're gonna get it going. So I'm adding 1/4 cup of apple juice and I'm spilling that all over the place. Apple juice. Right, then 1/4 cup of sugar. Put that on in there. And then a teaspoon of cinnamon. But it says stir it occasionally over the next 8 hours. So I'm gonna put a reminder in my phone to check it throughout the day. I'm excited. I may want to try apple butter for some time. So, okay, that's good. All right, these have been on for an hour and it smells so good in my kitchen, y'all. It smells like fall time. You can see they're starting to cook down a little bit. Gosh, that smells good. So they'll be cooking until 7 p.m. and then I will puree them in my NutriBullet, put them back in, add the pumpkin and everything else, and then they'll cook, I think, for 4 more hours. So these should be done by 11 p.m. So stay tuned. All right, the apple butter has been on for 5 hours and it smells so good. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Oh, the fog. Well, the steam. It smells good. So I'm gonna give it a stir and come back in a couple hours to get ready to put it in the NutriBullet. But it smells amazing in here. When I tell y'all it smells so good in here. Ooh, look how much it's cooked down. Oh, it smells amazing. Amazing. I kind of keep the lid like open a little bit because like water starts to drip and all that, and so I'm like, I don't want it to drip, but it smells fantastic. I have another hour to go. I have let this cool down a little bit. I'm actually going to finish this tomorrow, stick this in the fridge, but it smells so good. I actually tasted some of it and it is really good. So I'm going to finish this tomorrow. I'm going to stick it in the blender in the morning, add the pumpkin and the rest of the stuff, and it cooks for 4 more hours. So I'm excited to finish this tomorrow. Good morning, y'all. So I have taken my apples out of the fridge and I'm about to blend them in my NutriBullet. All right, I've got it in my NutriBullet. I love this NutriBullet. It is amazing. And it says to puree. So I'm actually gonna just do it on low. Because I don't want it to be like juice. So we'll try that. All right, it looks a lot like applesauce. So yummy. I'm actually gonna taste it. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh, that's good. It's yummy. It tastes like applesauce. So I'm gonna transfer it back into my crock pot and do the next steps. All right, I transferred it back to my crock pot, and I'm actually gonna clean my blender real quick. So this is what I do. I always add a little soap and water and go ahead and blend it. For 1 can of pumpkin, you know I had to do the organic sprouts brand, or organic in general. And then I don't have a vanilla bean, so the substitute is 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. So that's what I'm gonna use. Pumpkin pie spice and fresh lemon juice. So I'm gonna go ahead and add everything. All right, I've added everything in: the pumpkin pie spice, lemon juice, and vanilla. So I'm gonna give it a stir, combine it, and cook it on low for 4 to 6 hours. It says it's gonna reduce even more, and it's gonna be, they said it's done when it's dark. So it smells good. I love the smell of vanilla. So excited to finish this. Y'all, it smells so good. Okay. See, I think my, what's this called, a crock pot. It cooks pretty fast, but let's see, it's been on almost 2 hours, but it smells amazing. Pumpkin apple butter, I'm so excited. That smells good, y'all. All right, it's been on for like 3.5 hours, y'all, and it's done. It's done. Like, I can tell that it's done. I'm just gonna let it sit and cool down. And after it cools down a bit, I will place it in jars. But it smells so good. It smells so good. And I'm gonna taste it here in a little bit. So it's done. I can tell by the crust around the, around the edge, and it looks like apple butter. Look how pretty it is. It's kind of hard to see how, yeah, you can see the color now. But it's done. Yay! I made apple butter. Here's the final results of my apple butter. I was able to fill 3 jars all the way to the brim pretty much. But you can see how it darkened up some, and I've got apple butter. So it says that it will last 4 to 6 weeks, but I'm actually gonna freeze 2 of these to save for the holidays. But yeah, I'll be making biscuits tomorrow, and we'll be spreading some apple butter on them. So this was so much fun to make. It was a long process, but it was a lot of fun. Adjustment to my recipe. So I tasted it and I thought it was good, but I felt like it tastes more like applesauce. So I added a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, salt, and then I let it cook for another hour on the stove. I ran it all back through my blender, but I used this cup from my NutriBullet, and y'all, we got apple butter. This is what I've been looking for, homemade pumpkin apple butter. I'm gonna post the recipe and share all the extra ingredients that I used, but I like it. All right, y'all, so I am actually making the Yeast Biscuits recipe by Stovetop Kisses. I've never tried any of her recipes, I don't think. I don't know, but I'm making her recipe of biscuits, and I've already added my flour. She suggested using bread flour, so that's what I'm using. Bread flour, sugar, baking soda, baking powder, salt. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix that up. So I'm excited about trying this recipe because she said that you can just make the dough and it can stay up in the fridge, I believe, up to 5 days, and you can just pull from it and bake your biscuits. So I'm gonna add that, stir it all in. By the way, I got this cute little, what do you call it, spatula? I don't know. From JCPenney, they had a sale, and I think it was like 75 cents. I got a whole set. I got a set for my mom, me, my sister, and that was part of their Christmas gift last year. These cute little cooking and stuff. I don't know what to call it. It's early. I forgot. The next ingredient is, I'm gonna actually tag her or link the video or something in the comments, I guess. But butter flavor shortening. I usually use regular shortening, but this is my first time buying the butter flavor. And so we need 5 tablespoons of that. And y'all, I was gonna bake these yesterday and I put my butter in the freezer because your butter's supposed to be really, really cold. I left it in the freezer and this butter's pretty much frozen. So, but I'm still gonna use it. We're supposed to, what's it called? Shred the butter in there. So I'm gonna add that here in a second. All right, I've added in my butter flavored shortening. And this is the first for me. So she said we should just sprinkle in the yeast because usually, you know, you do the water thing or yeah, set it in water, let it rise. But she's like, no, just sprinkle it in and stir it in and it's gonna rise once you add in all the liquids and stuff. So that's what I did. And now I'm going to grate the butter in. Right, you know what? Freezing the butter was actually a good idea because it made it easier to grate into the dry ingredients. So I grated my butter and next I'm adding my buttermilk. So I'm gonna have to, I looked online for a substitute and it said you can use milk, but I don't have milk because I just don't drink milk like that on a regular basis unless I'm, you know, using it for something I'm baking. But they said that I can use heavy cream with vinegar. So that's what we're gonna use for this last half cup of buttermilk. So we'll see how it turns out. All right, y'all, so I mixed all the ingredients together. I ended up using heavy cream because I don't have any milk or vinegar or anything like that. So she said the dough will be kind of sticky, which it is. Well, not really sticky, but it's gonna come together. So I'm about to lay this out on a platform or on a mixing board. Lord, I need to work on my words. I'm gonna lay this out on a cutting board and make my dough. All right, y'all, got my dough all punched out and layered and everything. Buttered cast iron, and I'm melting butter in here. That black is from the cast iron. So I'm about to shape these and go ahead and put them in my cast iron and let them sit for a while. All right, I have cut out some of the biscuits. Put the melted butter on top. I'm gonna cover them and let them sit. She said 15 minutes. I might let them sit longer. And then I'm gonna do the rest and put them in here. Hopefully there's enough room. I got quite a bit of dough left. So we're going to put it on in. You can see my biscuits have definitely risen. And so those have been in the longest. And, excuse me, those have been setting aside for the longest. It's probably been like 20, 30 minutes, maybe 40. So I'm about to stick these in the oven on 450 and bake them right up. We've got biscuits, y'all. So excited about it. And I cannot wait to try them. Can we talk about these biscuits from Stovetop Kisses? These biscuits are so good. They're thick, they're yummy, moist, yum. I highly suggest trying her recipe. So good. I'm just gonna add my apple butter and we're gonna eat. I don't know if you can see that stain, but it's coming out of there. So good. Yes. All right, I've got my pumpkin apple butter. Yum. So excited. Kind of tough to do with one hand, but we've got apple butter. It's so good. I just have it here in my little mason jar and I have the rest in the fridge. I'm actually gonna freeze the cans. I'm gonna get some smaller mason jars and yeah, but that's it. All right, I actually made egg and sausage sandwich. This looks amazing. I'm just excited to eat it with the apple butter. Ain't that pretty? So pretty. So what do you think? You're gonna try the apple butter? Yes, I'm probably gonna make more. So this was pumpkin, so I'm probably gonna make a basic apple butter maybe later in the year. I'm gonna freeze what I have because it made so much and take some with me for Thanksgiving, thaw it out and all that stuff. But let me know if you're gonna make apple butter. I will share the link to the recipe I used and I added more. So I'll just add that in. And then I'll also share the link to the biscuit recipe I used from Stovetop Kisses. So thank you so much for watching.